Because you know I'm all about that rate, no resid. I'm all about that rate, no powers. I'm all about that rate, no mouthing. I'm all about that rate. Yeah, rate of fires in a 9.2, and I can make it. It's not that hard to do, cause I got that good luck that all the guys crave, and all the right rolls in all the right phases. You'll see my machine guns working that ROF. You know my luck's unreal, I just can't make it stop. When I get lucky, rate runs, I use them up by shooting up all your kill stacks from the bottom to the top. Yeah, my mentor, he told me don't worry about the sound. He says, boys, like a little more shooting in a firefight. You know, with ordnance, guns, and MGs, I get right with them all. So defeating you in 2 turns won't take very long. Because you know I'm all about that rate, no resid. I'm all about that rate, no powers. I'm all about that rate, no mouthing. I'm all about that rate, I'm bringing Shooty back. So many shots you'll have a heart attack. So when we're playing, I know I'll squish you flat. But I'm here to tell you, gonna shoot up all your kill stacks from the bottom to the top. Yeah, my mentor, he told me don't worry about the sound. He says, boys, like a little more shooty in a firefight. You know I will get a 1 on the colored die when I roll. Yo, just letting you know my rate runs can last all year long. Because you know I'm all about that rate, no resid. I'm all about that rate, no power. I'm all about that rate, no mouthing. I'm all about that rate, Because you know I'm all about that rate, no resid. I'm all about that rate, no powers. I'm all about that rate, no mouthing. I'm all about that rate, Because you know I'm all about that rate, I'm all about that rate, no trouble. I'm all about that rate, no trouble. I'm all about that rate, Ooh, I'm all about that rate. Ooh. You know you like this rate. Hey.
Well, hello everybody, and welcome
everybody.
to another episode of the one and only podcast on the net, dedicated 100% to the greatest game in the world.
Advanced Squad Leader.
You heard it from Jeff.
I'm Jeff.
I'm Dave.
And right over there is on camera 2. Switch to camera 2.
Whoa.
Mike Ryzy.
Hello.
Wave to everybody, Mike, so they know who you are. Yeah. Everybody recognize Mike in a crowd, I'm sure.
They always do.
Easy to pick him out.
It's that 2 half squads guest.
Yes. That's right. So how are you, Mike? How's everybody?
Going good.
Yeah.
Today is September 23rd, 2024.
Yes, the autumnal equinox was today at 7:45 a.m. Did you stand an egg on its head or stand your head?
No.
Stand an egg on your head?
And now that's not the start of fall?
It
It
would
is.
be.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, because that's what I told Laura. So like, I think today's, we were walking and she's like, feels very crisp out and lots of colored trees. I go, well, that's good because it's the first day of fall.
That's right.
Forgetting the words.
And she always believes what you tell her.
Yeah.
without having to look it up or anything. She never looks it up. I'll just ask Dave. He knows when the autumnal equinox is.
Well, we thought we'd jump right into where we left off last show, which is quiz show part
Quiz
2.
show, that's right.
Yes.
So the next sound you hear will be jumping.
Splash.
I have not been given the answers between episodes.
No. Did you guys reread that section?
No.
We left off at 10.2. Unlimbering.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
unlimbering. Let's all get unlimber.
And limbering.
I sat on the couch all day, so I'm very unlimber.
So how about this?
And just so everybody knows that's watching, I forgot my glasses today, but hey, Dave has this very nice magnifying glass. So if I looked like Inspector Gadget or something like that,
Can you make it stick like a monocle?
yes, good. I've always thought I would like a monocle. Ever since Werner Klemperer sported
Yes.
that monocle so nicely. Sorry, continue.
Any gun not indicated as having a QSU, what does that stand for?
Quick setup.
Correct. Ding ding. Must be limbered before it can be pushed, towed, or hooked up. That's just the fact, boys. Exception. Yeah. Guns with no move or restricted fire, no
yes.
move. Now, 10.21. To limber such a gun, you would invert it to its limbered side. Is limbering accomplished by the gun's crew?
Yes.
Yes, is correct, Jeffrey. It's a tie, 1-1. No, we're not keeping score.
No, we're not keeping score.
Is
This
it-
friendly?
Is that done during the prep fire phase or any phase in which the crew could otherwise fire the gun?
Prep fire phase.
Correct. May either of them then fire in the player term that they limbered or unlimbered?
Can
Can
they
they
fire?
Fire the gun in the turn that they
Oh, in the
limber
turn.
or unlimber it?
Yeah, I would say no.
No is correct. It's 2-2.
That's why I would say no. Because I like being correct. You know, that's something we've never tried. Limbering a gun.
I have,
You have?
of course.
Oh,
I played 1,000, almost 400
no,
scenarios.
no, I mean an actual gun.
He means
Oh,
real life.
No, I haven't.
I'm not even sure exactly. You know, it's funny how we play these things. I'm not sure exactly what's involved with limbering or unlimbering.
We've
an
got that artillery
piece.
piece in front of the Palatine
Yeah, the
Historical
AF
Society.
the
Let's
AF
go down there right now.
Yeah,
We'll do it.
We do. I think it's a 70.
we should go knock on their door and just say, "How do you unlimber
think
that
so.
thing?" And they'd be
Yeah.
like, "What?
We
Your
go
what
to-
now? Your what hurts?"
Go to Cantini.
We could go for the
And-
unlimbering course. Yeah, they have a class, don't they?
There have to be films on YouTube.
I'm sure there are.
Oh yeah, that's probably
Yeah.
true. Okay. Oh,
But yeah, well, I know some of them, the legs move in and they have the hook that
Right,
overlaps because I
yes.
built the model kits
Right.
and had to
oh
figure out
yes, right.
what do I do with these two sticks that stick out of the gun portion? What are these? And you look up pictures and you figure out, oh, the legs can go together and then I had the two hooks where the holes
Mhm.
line up so you can hook it up to a
Right. A hitch.
with a spike on it.
Yes.
So, and some of those kits come with movable
They
legs
do.
too. May a limbered gun fire?
No.
No is correct. Can it be unlimbered while you're towing it?
That would be silly. No.
Correct.
Yeah, that makes sense. Finally,
3-3.
finally, something makes sense.
Unlimbering is the inverting of the gun to its normal firing side with the same restrictions. And I don't know how. Well, in World War II, how did they get the flip? How did they flip the gun over like that, invert it to its limbered side? It's too heavy to flip over, and if it's guns with a limbered reverse side also require malfunction counters to mark their status when suffering such a result, or you'll forget it was malfunctioned, I
Yes.
guess. And can
Who was it that said, give me a place to stand and a lever long enough and I can move the world? Is that Archimedes or somebody like
I
that?
believe so.
That's how you do it.
Oh, flipping the
it.
gun. Can it be repaired while limbered? A malfunctioned gun.
Yes.
You're right.
Yeah, that's when I
Yes.
would do it.
I would have said no, but yes, you can. Rule 10.22. A crew may unlimber or limber a gun and change its covered arc simultaneously. Yes. A TI counter is placed on the multi-man counter and gun after it is unlimbered, but not when it has limbered, only when it's unlimbered.
So when it's unlimbered, you put TI, whether or not you change the covered arc.
Yes.
It has no bearing. It gets the TI counter.
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm. Now, the quick setup gun, as Mike said, QSU, that can never be limbered or unlimbered. Such a gun is never subject to those provisions of those rules. And it can be hooked or unhooked in its normal state, but not in a state of intoxication. Limbered
I'll take your
fire.
word for it on that one. I was trying to picture it and then I thought, no,
No,
that's
no, yeah,
horrible. It's
that's right.
frightening.
What is the abbreviation used in the ASL rulebook for limbered fire?
For limbered fire?
Limbered fire.
It's not a trick question.
There's an abbreviation.
It's two letters.
LF?
LF.
LF is correct.
Wow.
What is it for?
This game is easy.
What's the abbreviation for restricted fire, no movement?
RFNM.
You are both correct.
Wow.
So a limbered fire, certain guns can fire while limbered and are indicated by having a caliber size and rate of fire on the back side of the counter. So you see it right on there. Oh, I can shoot because it says here's the gun information. Now, is that limbered fire allowed while a gun is in tow?
Is what?
Can you fire the gun while it's in
it's being
tow?
towed? If Sylvester Stallone was in the scene, yes. But otherwise, I think no.
That's the only exception, yes. You just got to make sure you do state these things in the rules.
Yes. Shouldn't a hero to be able to do anything?
Yeah.
Only if he's
Yes.
wearing a cape.
Well,
Limbered fired guns, they often suffer penalties to their performance in terms of their changes in their barrel length or 360 mount or rate of fire ratings. So you got to look at the counter, just telling you. Now, RFNM, which stood for what?
Non-movement.
Restricted
fire,
no
no movement.
No movement.
So that gun, may it limber or unlimber?
You ask a lot of questions.
Well, it's called an RFNM for a
I
reason.
would say no.
No is correct.
Oh, okay.
It cannot be unlimbered if in tow at a scenario start, and it cannot be limbered or pushed in firing mode at scenario start. So the way you get it is the way you get it. Furthermore, it may not use to hit cases A, E, like we know these. Actually, a lot of listeners will know these.
Yeah, right.
Oh, yeah.
Let's try this.
We're the only
Yes.
ones that don't know them.
What is case A? Okay, let's not try those.
No.
Firing outside your covered arc.
Oh,
Ooh,
he's right.
yeah.
Can you do J4
Changing covered arc.
or L?
L is
Oh.
J is changing covered arc, right? Hexes.
J4 wasn't that with the number in line of sight? I don't know. It doesn't say here, but it says L. It says this. It can fire at 1 or 2 hex range, but does not receive the dial modifier for close range. The -1 to hit it.
Right.
-2. Yeah, they don't get
Okay.
that. That's all I know. Oh, in any case, J is always doubled at greater than or equal to 6 hexes. Better remember that next time.
Yeah, boy. I'm going to tattoo that on the back of my hand.
Now, if the gun is listed as no movement, otherwise known as NM, may it change its covered arc normally? Covered arc change?
Yes.
Yes. May it limber or unlimber?
No.
No, same thing as before. Pushing. Anyone want to tell us what you think you remember about pushing a gun?
You don't want to push it downhill because it'll get away from you. And then it's like, whoa, it's suddenly like a comedy thing. It's going, whoa, the gun's getting away. Whoa. Oh, what about pushing?
How do you do it?
Oh, a crew can push a gun
Yeah.
during the movement phase.
Mm-hmm.
And they have to, there's a push number.
Mm-hmm. No, it's true.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
I was just trying to remember where the push number is.
It's a manhandling number.
The manhandling number, yeah.
Yep.
Is it in the, oh God, I'd know it if I saw the counter. Is it in the box?
The circle.
It's in the circle, okay.
Yep.
The manhandling.
So you have to roll less than or equal to its M number.
Yeah.
For each hex, though, too. Remember?
Yes.
Each hex as you go. So is that hazardous movement when you're doing that?
Only if you're going downhill and you're losing. Oh, look out.
Or up snowy slopes?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
it's
it
hazardous
is.
Oh,
movement.
it's hazardous
Yes.
movement. Okay.
Can you do assault movement while you're pushing the gun?
No.
No is correct.
No.
Can it
That'd
be
be a good scenarios where you just have guns. You just have to push your guns across the board. Whoever gets off first.
I think Mike said last game a scenario with just
That's right.
vehicles,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
or you had to just exit them or race them. I put
Yeah,
well,
what was
just
it?
the
Yeah.
listeners remember.
Yes.
Yeah. We don't, but, but I'm sure somebody
They
will.
just earned it. And there are ones with just vehicles, but you something
No,
else
there was, yeah, something.
with the victory condition. Can you attempt a minimum move with pushing a gun?
No.
No.
Can you push it down a road?
Yes.
Can you push it up a hill?
Yes.
Can you push it through a ham and cheese sandwich?
Wow.
It just felt like a green eggs and ham kind
Yeah.
of thing going on there.
That's right.
If you had a hero, you could
Yes, and
push it through the ham.
A
and
hero
cheese
sandwich?
A hero, yes.
or only a hero in a cape.
Yeah.
Can you use double time while pushing?
No.
Yes, you can.
You can.
Yeah,
Ooh,
you
yeah.
can.
Oh, that's one I've never tried.
And that's why moving it can go usually further than you're
Right.
thinking maybe in your
Yeah,
head,
yeah.
especially with the neg modifier, which we'll get into the modifiers in a
Right.
bit. So yeah, because you can double time and gain another space.
Another space. Okay.
Now, can it be pushed
Yeah.
into a deep stream?
Well,
If you're just trying to get rid of it, I guess.
yes.
This is what the I'll get it. Colonials did when the British were coming. They threw all the cannons into that pond, remember? At Lexington and Concord.
There you go.
Okay, I don't think you remember, but
I guess I don't remember.
it is true. They hid them, had to dump them into a pond, I think. So
Wow.
can it be pushed into grain?
Yes.
Yes.
Bamboo?
No.
Correct. A gun, can it be pushed with bypass?
Yes.
Have you ever had a gun pushed by men through bypass? No.
No.
Ooh.
I think the tanks could tow what we learned last time.
Yeah. Okay.
Nor can it be hooked up or unhooked from a vehicle in bypass, but it can move through bypass, yeah,
Got it.
with a
Right.
tank vehicle. Now, if the final manhandling number is greater than the movement number, what happens?
You stop there.
Yep. And if it is, you can get, and then you get a little counter put on you that helps you next time. Do you remember what that's called? When a pregnant woman goes into
Labor.
labor counter. Neg 1. And then you
Oh,
flip
okay.
it to neg 2, remember?
Yes.
The labor.
this I
Oh,
remember.
for next time.
Yeah, you can use that for various things. in the game.
Yes.
Now, if the manhandling number equals the die roll number, M number,
You move but stop.
yes, last hex you can go into during that movement phase. And if the final number is less than, you get to go, and then it's blah, blah. Now, you have to have sufficient movement factors to expend in the hex, of course. And in all these cases, the gun and the infantry become TI for the rest of the player turn. And these rules do not apply to support weapon portage. And for fun, see B23.423. I didn't know the rules were that long. B23.423
One of my favorites.
and a bunch of others. Can you push guns into a building?
No.
No.
Actually, I think it's yes, because that's when you see B23,
Ah,
B23.93.
well, if it fits, right?
Yeah, there's
Yes,
restrictions.
right.
Yeah, right.
There has to be no furniture in the room or something.
Right.
There's factory doors.
Yeah, factory. I
Factory
would.
There's
door.
other
Yeah.
stuff.
But if it's small enough, it fits normally.
Yes, and I keep trying to memorize that.
Yeah.
In fact, it was just last month, Dave and I were trying to memorize. Okay, which gun can go in a building, and then which one can be up upper level?
So is it usually the? I guess it would be the
small
barrel
or-
size.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, it's like it can't an AT gun. It's not
Yes,
large
right. That's
or
right. Yeah, yeah.
you know, not an artillery and this
Or
and that.
infantry gun. Yeah.
A gun cannot be pushed in the same turn it's unhooked. So the vehicle moves up, you unhook the gun, you can't start pushing it.
Yeah.
And die roll modifiers.
Mhm.
Do you remember any? Or what do you think would be good ones, maybe?
Oh, neg 2.
That's for crossing
That's a
the
die.
For
a
extra
road.
half squad.
that's for crossing the road hex side, neg 2. For cross extra half squad is neg 1 or crew. Up to a maximum of neg 4.
All right.
Because again, you can't fit 150 guys around one gun trying to push it.
Yes.
It's not like in football when they try and push the
Oh, yeah.
quarterback over the line now.
Yeah.
Mm.
So you can unhook. I'm still picturing unhooking a gun on a hill.
It's in the level part of the hill.
Oh, okay.
Because
I
remember,
would think it would just. There's got to be rules for it just rolling away, just getting away from you.
yeah, that's where the hill rules and ASL are like steps, remember?
Yes.
And that's where they said they're not.
Bueller, who unhooked the gun? Bueller.
Well, think about bad terrain to try and move through due to weather.
Deep snow.
Yes, +3. Same for
Oh yeah, that would be brutal.
your,
Mud.
Your name is
Mud.
that's right.
Yeah, that's right.
And then the movement factor for entering the hex. I like that simple way to say, well, if it's a +2 TEM, you got to pay the
Yes.
+2. If it's +1, it's only +1, right? If there's no,
Right.
oh no, movement factor expenditure, not TEM,
Right.
but it captures that. And then there is a +X for the TEM only of the hex side,
Yes.
the wall or hedge
Yes.
kind of thing, or a pile of dead bodies, whatever's across
Ooh.
that hex side. And it's neg 2 for a low ammo counter. I guess you're lighter,
These are lighter. Yeah.
more svelte, like me, like me. And it's neg 1 or 2 per pregnant woman status.
Right. Each labor.
Labor.
Yeah. Now,
I don't think you can say pregnant woman anymore.
pregnant lady. A gun. Can it be pushed and then hooked up during the same movement phase?
Pushed and unhooked.
Pushed and
Hooked
hooked up.
up. We already said you can't.
I would say no,
Yeah, I would agree with the no.
I would think
but
you got to make it complicated. So the
Yeah.
rule states, yes, only if the pushing infantry can still attempt to push that gun another hex in that movement phase, and only if the vehicle has not yet exceeded the specified movement point expenditures for hooking up. No manhandling die roll is actually required for hooking up.
Really. You have to be able to go one more. You have to have enough movement factors to go one more hex.
And the vehicle has to have enough movement points
Movement points.
to hook up
hook up.
Okay.
Yes.
with
Wow.
another
yeah.
female vehicle.
Yeah. Let's hook up. Hey.
And yeah, it'd be much simpler if it was just no.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yes.
Let's just say no.
Yeah.
Trailers. A vehicle towing a trailer may traverse any kind of terrain permitted were it not towing the trailer. Exception, entering.
Non-trailer terrain.
That's correct. Like a building or rubble.
Why would anybody listen to this show?
Okay. How about, I think fewer and fewer people are.
Yeah. So,
How about a vehicle backing up with a trailer? Is that allowed?
it's what allowed what?
To have a trailer hooked up to your Jeep and then go backward
Oh, backward?
or tank?
We had this similar thing last week.
Yeah, in the movement rules. It was no.
It's no.
Because they decided
Yes.
it's too
It's
complicated.
too complicated.
Yeah, well,
to
right.
make a rule
Yes.
to have to roll if he's left-handed driver, if he's got a side view mirror or a rear view mirror to help him, or if he's got two
Yeah.
people in back going like this.
Yeah. And you're turning the wheel the
Turn.
wrong way and
Turn.
it's going the other way. No, you have to turn into the turn.
Oh my gosh. And
Yes.
today backing into my garage, we started backing in because the neighbor girls were little.
Uh-huh.
And I said, Laura, I freak out.
Because you can't see when you're backing out.
Yeah, we're gonna
Oh.
back in because you can look everywhere
Yeah.
on the way
Yeah,
in.
right.
And we got used to that. You know, they're saying it's impossible. No, we can relearn. It's just as simple. And now the car is a backup camera, so
Mhm.
it's easy now. But I was coming in today and I just started turning the wrong way. like mine
Yeah.
screw up.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's not a good sign, Dave.
No, I mean, right into the garage. I actually had to stop and I told Laura was with me. She didn't even notice because it was small enough that I caught it right away. I'm like, I just went the wrong way.
You got to eat more broccoli or something.
More broccoli. What about wheat germ? I saw wheat germ and I started adding it into my food again like I did in college. Is there any benefit to that?
I like to pour like vinegar on it to kill the germs and then eat it.
So you're just eating straight wheat.
Sure, yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much. I guess so. Hmm.
Hmm. Yes.
You know, when I was on the fishing trip, one of the guys brings a boat and he's great driving the boat, but he can't back up the trailer. So he said, can anybody back up a trailer? And I said, I can. Because I did back in college for one summer.
Yes.
And I thought, I'm sure I can remember how to do this. And doggone it, I did.
Oh, good.
Backed it right up, picked up the boat. I was so proud of myself. It was the best part of the fishing trip.
Speaking of backing up, it's lately like the last year I'm backing out of our driveway. You know, we're pretty heavy traffic for the school across the street in the
Yeah.
park. So I'm
Yeah,
always
you
looking for
parked
and a million
cars.
dog walkers in the
Yeah.
back cars. So I'm always, I back out a little bit. I look to the left, look at it carefully, start rolling back, and then all of a sudden there's somebody there. Like, you're gonna run me over. It's like, where did you come from? I spent 20 minutes looking both directions every time. So
Well, I remember my boys learned. I forgot to remind them or tell them that thin bit of metal on your car between the windshield and the right-hand side door
yeah.
can block a car because you pull up and you start turning left. And if they're coming from the right and you look too quick, you didn't quite catch them behind that metal bar supporting the roof. And then you're turning and they're coming.
Mhm.
So Aaron was like, yeah, this dude was honking me, Dad. I didn't even see him. I'm like, you can't do a quick look to the right. You have to look long enough for someone to come out behind there. But so did you run them over anyway?
Yes.
Teach them.
Yeah,
a
I would
lesson?
start doing that.
Yeah.
Teach them a lesson. Yeah. That'll learn them.
You got to look for backing up. Oh, and I used to freak about that too as a parent. Kids,
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
look at the parked car on your bicycles. Look for
Yeah.
backup lights. Look if someone's in there. Don't just ride. And then when I was teaching them to drive, I was trying to teach them to look under parked cars for little children's feet running around in the back.
Yeah.
And I was like, Dad, it's too many places to be looking. Well, look for little feet running. There may be a kid under there
That would be a horrible part of war, but I'm sure it happened plenty.
looking for
yeah.
You know,
little
guys
feet.
getting run over by
Oh.
their own
Yep.
vehicles and
Mhm.
you know,
Mhm.
all that kind of stuff that
Yeah,
happens
right.
in regular life, even without the war.
No, it did. Mhm. Well, on that happy note,
Not that, yeah, that's right.
There's
That
no
brings us
rule for it.
down. There's no
There's no
rule
rule
for
for
it.
there
it.
is no rule.
Can you
Oh,
back
wait.
over the crew?
10.411. In the case of wounded being laid on the ground behind a vehicle. For to hit purposes, can a trailer be targeted separately from the
Oh, Dave.
yes, with the +3 size modifier if the towing vehicle presents a side target facing to the firer?
Really?
May be targeted separately. Gonna have to try that next
Yeah,
time.
right.
Now, how about a rear target facing hull hit? Is that gonna hit the trailer or the vehicle?
Well, I'll say
Rear.
trailer. I'm just going out on a limb.
Yeah.
You are correct. Scores now 18 to 14.
It hits the trailer, not the gun.
trailer.
Yes.
So it's the
No.
hull.
The vehicle towing the trailer.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
It's-
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So if someone shot at you while you were
Yeah.
backing the boat up from the rear,
Right. It would hit the trailer, not the boat.
the low part, the
Yeah.
hull.
Yes.
So can a trailer be hit by direct fire through the towing vehicle's front facing
By direct fire.
from through the front of the vehicle?
Well, let's say
to
no.
hit the trailer. Again, you have to state these things.
Yes.
Right. Otherwise, if a hit misses by one, the trailer is considered hit on a subsequent die roll of one. The trailer hit
Okay.
possibility is determined before any accidental hits versus overstacked vehicles can be scored then, before it can be scored. All other to hit die roll modifiers apply normally, and direct fire and non-ordnance do not attack the trailer separately. The trailer shares the fate of its what? Towing.
Towing vehicle.
I always love that. It
They
shares
share
the fate of the vehicle. It's in this rule book more than once.
Yes, yes, it is.
I wonder if that was a McNamara or a
Right. Where did
Who was the one
who's
that-
the romantic, let us say.
Yeah. Very Wordsworth of them.
Yes.
if a trailer becomes immobilized, what must the vehicle do?
If the trailer becomes immobilized,
Has to detach. Has to unhook.
unhook.
You're right. Which vehicle had the auto release button inside the tank command post? Trailer hits do not cause collateral attacks, and a trailer never leaves a wreck when it's destroyed.
Ah,
Should you check the towing vehicle's vehicle listing notes in chapter H for further information?
Every time.
Yes.
I'm sure that would be good.
All right. We are getting near the end. N por T. How do you spell that?
And
In French,
portee.
of course.
Why, I don't know.
don't know.
ENPORT
E.
EE accent grave.
Yeah.
That's correct, except for that last part.
No, isn't there?
Is
Well,
there an accent over
No,
the
maybe not.
first E?
I just didn't know what.
Residual.
I just
French
didn't know
ones.
what that meant.
Yeah.
It's going to the left as opposed
Accent
to accent.
grave.
Or accent aigu. I
Aigu.
don't. Yes.
Yeah.
See,
One
all,
or the other.
all my friends are smarter than me.
We just took French.
I say
Yeah.
all the time. No, they're all smarter.
We
Well, so you want to guess which nationalities had guns that could be carried in portee?
I'm sorry, what does importee mean? Or you haven't told us yet?
I don't know.
Did I? What was the word?
They can be carried on the vehicle. On the vehicle.
Oh,
Yes.
Like in a truck bed.
okay. Yes. Okay. Right. Right.
You want to guess at some nationalities? Or one should be easy to
some
get.
nationalities that
En
may do
port-
on portee. Let us see. The French.
Yes, that's
Yeah, yeah, that would
one.
make sense.
Yes.
If it was the Russians, what should we call
Yes.
this, comrade? How about importee? What?
And then any French colonial holdings, perhaps.
Italians.
The Italians, they would, yes.
Yeah, British and German. It's what they list here.
All right.
I know all the nationalities may not have been out here when this who knows.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you can load it up there and carry it as passenger portage points. So the applicable ordinance notes describe which guns can be ported by which vehicles during which periods. So we're not going to talk more about that.
Wonder why they decided to give it a French name. Isn't there an English equivalent for importee, like in the truck?
I thought it was like in the potty.
Yeah.
Oh, where's the men in the unit? They're in portee.
They're importee. Where's Santa Claus?
I would imagine most of the French manual of arms that were used in armies
prior to.
Yeah.
prior to World War II.
Oh, I
Mm,
see.
Use the French
Yes,
terminology.
okay. That
I'll
would make
betcha.
sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just a holdover.
Yeah.
Because people don't like change.
Yes.
How do you unload a gun from importee? Okay, would it be having the crew expend its entire movement factor allotment,
Oh my God. I
Or
can't believe
just like one movement point to unload it?
I think it's
I mean,
it's got to be the crew.
the crew, yes, but how
Yeah.
many movement? All their movement
All their
factors, or
movement,
just
yeah.
one movement?
All their
factor?
movement.
Okay,
Yeah.
correct. Now it has to be non-entrenched. Can they be pinned?
While they're doing it?
Can they, if they're pinned, can they unload that thing?
No.
That's correct. If they're fanatic, can they unload that thing?
No. Fanatics don't get.
Oh no, just in general.
Yeah.
If you're a fanatic counter, can you unload a gun?
Yes.
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 What if you're?
What if you're berserk?
I was going to ask that, but it's not.
It's not
Yeah.
there.
I don't see.
It does, and the answer would be no, because
Yeah.
They have to
yeah,
know,
they've got to do their
right? They
Their
can't.
berserk thing.
yes.
Yes, very very good.
Like Conan.
Yes.
Exactly.
Now, is it hazardous movement to do that kind of thing?
Yes.
Yes. A non-quick setup gun can load or unload in limbered mode. Now, when a gun has been thusly loaded, it's marked with an importee counter.
What?
Yes, there
There's
are
an
counters.
import. There are
There
import.
are, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, there are.
I feel like I've never played this game sometimes.
I
How can this be? How?
I may never have had an.
There's an importee counter.
Yeah,
I'd give
I know.
my left arm right now for an importee.
The hours
counter.
I've had to agonize over
Oh.
my counter distribution. Where
Yeah.
do they go?
Where do they-
Because it's coming. I know it is.
But it never did.
It never
Oh.
did.
Now, a gun may it or may it not be unloaded from a vehicle that has expended any movement points in the same movement phase. So the vehicle drives and then stops. Can you suddenly unload a gun if it requires all the infantry moves?
No.
No is correct. It's kind of the principle about
Yes.
if they used all their move, they can't
right.
use their move. Wreck. A vehicle. Look, Mike, it says porteen.
And porteen?
No,
Or
it
porteen.
says a vehicle porteen a gun.
Yes.
So I'm not making that up.
Wow.
No.
Is not flipped over to its wreck side if it becomes immobilized, and then the gun may be unloaded. So if a vehicle porteen a gun is eliminated, what happens to the porteed gun?
It's portad.
It's correct.
Porterd.
Yes, it is also eliminated. Last rules 10.53. So when the gun is loaded on the vehicle, the gun's covered arc must coincide with either the vehicle covered arc or the rear vehicle covered arc. May it change while it's being porteed?
No.
Can you
I
spin the
wouldn't think
gun
so.
around? No, you
No.
cannot. No, you may not. Now, an AT gun with a gun shield being porteed provides no protection to the vehicle, but direct fire attacks versus it, which come from within the gun's covered arc and which do not destroy the vehicle, affect the passengers as if they were manning a non-in-place, non-vehicular AT. So it's
Good
saying
Lord.
the passenger dudes can count that.
Yeah.
So they
The
can
gun
be-
shield.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wouldn't remember that. Well, remember, anytime, of course, we're going to end up 14,
Yes.
we're going to read this little
That's
right.
section of rules.
Yeah.
So,
If
may-
anybody else is going to listen to this segment and say, I know it all now.
Yeah.
that's right.
Yes.
Now, may certain guns be fired by their passenger crew while being porteed?
Yes.
You're right. See vehicle note stuff. Applicable ordnance notes. Ordnance notes. and mounted fire penalties would not apply for some reason.
Mhm.
And that completes Rule 10
Wow. That's toward
Nice.
the end of the chapter, right? Kind of.
after
Pretty
9.
much. Yeah.
But
It's after
before
9,
11.
but before 11.
I don't have
That's why I don't
my.
remember some of these rules. So I start rereading the rule book.
Yes.
And I
right.
get halfway through the chapter. And I was like,
Yeah.
"Ugh, I don't want to read the rest. It's just
That's
fiddle fatter fodder.
Well, how about a little banter since we
Banter.
spared the listeners that? I had the incident at the store where an elderly man was buying something ahead of me at a 7-Eleven, and he,
Dave, we're elderly.
oh, well, not Mike,
Not Mike.
Okay.
Mike's a young snapper. Okay, go ahead.
an
Sorry.
a man.
but still the only one here with grandchildren. So
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
true.
true.
That's true.
No pressure on our kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was pretty old, like 80s, I
mhm.
think, and moving kind of slow, but he got his products up there on the counter, and the young in his 40s, Middle Easterner man, maybe in his late 30s, started ringing up, and the old man goes, "What's the damage?" Remember I told
Oh, yeah.
the kid behind the counter goes, "What?" And he goes, "What's the damage?" Of course, a little more irritatedly. And the young guy goes, "Wait, you're saying it's damaged?" and then as the guy is saying, "What's the cost?" I'm going, he's asking what he has to pay you, and then I had a good conversation with the guy about him not knowing those
Right,
sayings, and then
yes.
me when I taught being confused by young kids sayings,
Right.
and that whole thing. So that was funny. What's the damage?
It'd be a good job for us.
We could handle
Just to go around interpreting.
between the
Yes.
generations.
Yeah, between
Right.
generations.
So yeah, Mike, did you have something interesting you
I
said
did.
happened?
After Dave's miniatures night, zombie
Oh,
Western.
I'll put up some pictures on the
Yes.
YouTube. Probably not the web page. No one's gonna go look at
Right.
that, I don't think.
So I'm driving down home, just down the street, 5 blocks away.
What could happen?
What could happen? I turn the corner onto my street, and our house is like right there, and the driveway's there, and parked between the sidewalk and the street is a car up in the grass, perfectly aligned. It looked like somebody had driven up onto what is that called? It's not the curb,
Parkway.
it's the parkway. And had kind of rolled up and parked with the tree in our front yard, the large maple tree,
Parallel with the sidewalk.
parallel with the sidewalk
Okay.
and the street.
Yeah.
They're flashing, the lights in back were on.
Okay.
And I just couldn't make, in my head, I'm running through all these scenarios of why would somebody park up on the parkway? And my daughter was out of town, and they were driving home later that weekend, but maybe they got home early and for some reason had to, you get these strange scenarios in your head. Maybe they had to unload for some reason up on, we also had guests for the weekend who were just using us as a hotel for the weekend, which is perfectly acceptable.
Yeah,
And I figured
Mike is very good with the hotel thing.
Yes,
So if you guys want to come to visit him.
yeah. And then maybe they came home from the event they were at for the weekend. They were at Riot Fest, the rock festival thing we have in town.
Oh, yeah, that's where
And,
Chris's son went.
yes. And for some reason they were forced up, like maybe the cops told them you can't park in the street. I don't know. The weird things that go through your head. So I pulled into our driveway back, by our garage, and then came out, and I see that my wife is hunched over the passenger side window with the door kind of open.
Yeah.
And then as I'm turning the corner, I see, oh, this car has actually hit the tree. So she's helping this woman get out of the car, crying. This woman's crying. And, my wife is Florence Nightingale reincarnated. So
She is.
she
Yes.
brought her into the
We
house, and she waved to me to call the cops. And while I was doing so, they had showed up. Well, our neighbor, who it's a friend of Dave's too, who lives next to us,
Mhm.
had already called 911 because they heard, as the neighbors were coming out, including my wife, had heard this car coming down the street, the one I had just been on. She was coming down the same road down Clark Avenue, where I had gone home on.
Like,
so
out of control, or
no, just going very fast. Like, we often get those speedsters that come down at late at night. You hear them rolling through, and that's what it sounded like to our neighbor. But this time it was even louder and closer. And then she said, she heard her turn the corner with a screech and then hit the tree. And all three houses that are next, on our little end of that street rattled. It was so amazing. And she quick called 911. Well, the cops showed up after my wife had brought this individual into the house and helped her. So that was kind of an adventure. The cops came, the EMTs came. We had three full-size fire trucks. The ones across the street on Palatine Road came over, the EMTs, the ambulance, 3 cops, the command unit.
They send everybody.
They send everybody, yeah. And so for about 2 hours, they were doing their thing, and the tow truck came, took it away, and the cops took her home because she had checked out okay. But the reason the accident happened, she was distraught over some family event. It wasn't like drunk driving or anything. She just was upset and had lost control. But that's the end of the story for us. We won't, of course, know what happened.
What happened to the tree?
The tree has a large dent in it. But it was funny because, as I say, she went right up on that parkway and
perfectly parallel
without, clearly she never put the brakes on.
Yeah.
Because there's no like skid marks. The grass isn't dug up. The damage is all on the bottom of the tree, where it's just kind of like scraped up, and some of the bark has fallen off. But yeah, it was a shocking turn of developments for a late night at Miniatures. And
you just want to go home.
Yeah, it was another 2 hours of us, waiting for the cops to go.
We got to pull this body out of the car. We got to try to give it mouth to mouth.
Nothing quite so dramatic, but
she probably had a trunk full of gold or something. She was
they were looking for that. They looked for everything.
Or she had a body in the trunk.
Yeah.
We all got to see what was in the trunk because they were tossing everything out of that car.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
nothing.
Did they search the?
Oh yeah.
Who's to say? I don't know. Did I ever tell the story of the woman cop in Chicago? I was going down a street and she was coming right toward me, and it looked like there wasn't room for 2 cars on the street. And I realized all the park traffic was going facing me. And I thought, oh no. And so I got over as far as I could, and she pulled up slowly next to me, and I rolled the window down, and she rolled it down, and she looks at me with sunglasses, literally. And I was, don't tell me this is a one-way street. And she just nods. And I said, and I'm going the wrong way. And she just nods. And then I was like, I don't suppose it'd be okay if I just went on this way and promised to be more careful. And she did that pause, 3-beat pause, and then nodded.
Good.
Never said a word to me.
Yeah.
Coolest thing ever. She had her shades on. It's the funniest thing ever. And my friend said, well, they look at your city sticker and see you're not from Chicago. So
yeah.
They don't really care to give you a ticket.
This Jaloon, not from Chicago. Get out of here.
Well, now it's time for
What's in the Box?
Yeah, what is in the box?
I don't know. Let's find out.
Let's look in the box.
I had to bring the box.
Mike brought the box. Why? Because it came
in the mail.
You notice I pulled that as the title for the last show.
Yes.
It came in the mail.
Came in the mail.
It came in the mail part 2.
Yeah. I was editing along.
Parte 2.
Suddenly that struck me like.
Yes.
So what do we got, Mike?
We've got Action Pack 19.
19.
Sweet.
Roads to Rangoon.
Roads to Rangoon.
I like crab Rangoon.
Yes.
It is good.
We got some really good. There's a new sushi place. So we'll discuss that.
Okay. Let's go right after the show.
Yes.
Road to Rangoon. This
Yes.
came out ASL Action Pack number 19. Yeah. Okay. Good.
It is a very nice selection of scenarios in chronological order, as I always approve.
Me like to.
1942, as the Japanese army is approaching Rangoon and eventually taking the city.
Where's Rangoon located in Burma?
Well, that would be Burma.
Where's Burma located? By China?
South of
India.
China,
Yeah, south.
between India and Vietnam.
Yep,
in
right,
that whole
right. I did know that.
area.
Yes.
So
what comes in this fine pack?
why we
of
have 10
action?
scenarios.
Wow,
10.
3 beautiful Fortenberry maps.
All right.
Yeah,
Let's
give
take
us-
some time on that. Hold that straight up there,
Yes,
Mike.
Straight up.
Can you see my computer here?
Ah,
See
yes,
where
there
you're
we
at?
go.
You can back. Wow, we see, and you see the back of it, right?
Yes, so I can see.
And so since Mike is blocked while he's doing the Vanna today,
Yes.
lots of buildings, a river bend up around the river bend,
A river runs through it.
and lots
Nope.
of roads.
No bridge though. Looks like the bridge is out.
Well, you'd have to build the bridge.
Yeah, I think some
Oh,
of
I
these
see.
would say a wooden bridge exists or
Oh,
something
okay.
else
Okay.
I
as a
will
special
switch.
rule. 28. Oh, I can hold one up. And then,
Well, yeah, okay.
so that was heavily cidified.
Yeah, lots of
Whereas
stone buildings
this-
and wood buildings. Yeah, etc.
Is 21A. What do you see on this, Jeff?
Well, from here, I could see some just hills and grain and a horse with no name.
Mm-hmm.
Am I missing something special?
No.
Okay.
Light jungle.
Yeah.
All right, it is PTO, of course.
Some light
so.
jungle, some heavy jungle,
Oh, this is corresponding.
dense jungle.
Kunai.
Oh, it's upside down.
Yeah, kunai. Some rice paddy. Are those rice
Yep.
paddies there as well?
Well, marsh.
Marsh.
Yeah.
What are the ones with the four?
And then
Yes.
Mike
better
is
on your
showing
map?
us another. You can. So I see
Another river
again,
bend.
grain, kunai, big river bend, and a village in the inside, mostly with a few buildings across the river and stone and bigger buildings, and some very small quantities of light jungle.
Yep. Church and graveyards.
Church and graveyard.
So were most of these around a city then?
Same one with this church and graveyard.
Yes. Or is it a cemetery?
It's a graveyard.
Shoot, then in our zombie game, we had a cemetery.
Yeah.
There was no church.
There was no
No
church.
church.
I should have put a church out. I got
That's
plenty
right.
of them
Church burned down.
next
right?
time. And that's it. 3 boards?
Those three
Three nice
boards. Yes.
boards.
Okay.
Reversible.
Yes. And Jeff, do you remember why they're reversible? What's different?
Of course I remember, but I'm going to let you answer that question because I don't think you remember.
I did remember. Mike's my witness.
Yes.
The numbering is different, so they match up with different boards.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I have 205, a kick in the teeth, and 206 jungle rats. And I noticed these are Japanese, British, March 4th and March 3rd, 1942, and board 22A, one side of the river, and then 20A, the whole thing. What's unique is you have a rule number 2 on both of these. It states Japanese player turn 4, before all non-berserk movement, all still hidden Japanese infantry units must conduct a banzai charge or charges. Exception, normal leader requirements are not applicable. So everyone's going, I think,
Mhm.
with the target being the nearest line of sight enemy units. And if there are none in line of sight, they're going to charge toward XK2, J6, or J11. Now, this jungle rats, to win, you have to get a mobile AFU with functioning main armament still in play. Oh, provided they have one, the British would win by controlling J6 and other multi-hex buildings. So the banzai charge is designed for the Japanese, I'm sure, to go toward those victory areas. And on a kick in the teeth, it's also turn 4, non-berserk, still hidden Japanese, 2 banzai charge, and they're going to hex K11. And to win this, the British would have to control hex K11 and some others. Yep. So that looks kind of cool. Signed by Gary Fortenberry. Did he do all these, you said?
Yes, all
So I've got, sorry, I've got to use my magnifying glass.
You and Tim.
So number 213, this is a very small scenario. It only includes 6 Japanese squads and 10 British squads. And it's short, it's 4.5 turns. And nothing really special about it other than there's mist on the first 2 turns.
Game turns
So
plus
if-
1.
Look up your mist
Oh,
rules
yeah,
from
right.
E3.32.
Yeah, it varies by distance. Yeah.
Yeah. But everything else is very normal. There's not much in the special rules at all. Just HIP is NA. And it's just a matter of the British want to take over some roads where the Japanese are holed up, and that's on board 21, which comes with this set. And on the flip side, there's one called Gun and Run. Now, this uses board 9A. Got to get out your board
Oh.
9A
Yep.
with
Mhm.
lots of overlays. A little more interesting with this one. Oh, this is interesting. There's a British vehicle with a 2-pounder Portee.
Oh.
The 2-pounder Portee.
Speak of the devil.
Yeah. So you get the British get 2 of those, and the Japanese get a. I'm not going to be able to read that. But the 2-pounder Portee may set up in concealment terrain HIP and retain concealment as an in-place gun when firing their main armament, which is kind of cool. And the Portees may set up in jungle and hut locations, but may not enter such obstacles. They can't enter them, but they can set up in them. And all of the Commonwealth are Gurkhas, which is always fun. I always like playing the Gurkhas.
Here I have AP 210, the Driven Draw Blood, which has as an interesting thing, in addition to the Japanese, it's the Burmese Independence Army supporting them. And those units act as partisans. And they can also do all the partisan things.
Yeah.
Japanese leaders affect partisan units as if they were Japanese, including commissar benefits, with an ELR of 5. And this one you simply have to control buildings. A refreshingly simple victory condition. On the flip side, we've got AP 209, Fang and Claw, night rules, a night Japanese attack.
Fun. Always fun.
And the Commonwealth have a 9-1 heroic leader.
And that's 5 turns. So
5 turns, yes. And they have to get 6 or more VP than the Commonwealth with CVP normally. And they have to take huts.
It's all relatively short
Yeah.
scenarios.
yeah,
Easy
AP
to digest.
211, the Doomed and the Darned here is Chinese
Oh,
Oh, there you
versus
go.
Japanese. And that's Burma 42. And unique thing about it is that there's air support for the Japanese.
fun.
So then break out those rules. They're not that hard if you look at the chart for that. That's cool. And that would be Japanese winning by controlling all the hill hexes. Well, that's a big old take the hill,
Yeah.
15 hexes.
What map board is that?
Oh, yeah, 5A.
Oh, 5.
Wow.
So
Okay.
Gary's using a lot of his, because on the back here, independence delayed, board 12A has these Burma partisans again.
Yep, the Burma
Mike had
partisans.
there. The cool flag.
The BIA.
Yeah. And then there's rice paddies, but they're drained. So that wouldn't be
Nice.
too complicated for you. It just converts the onboard brush or grain as rice paddies with the non-check sides being banks along. And
How many movement points does it take to unlimber a gun in a drained rice paddy in the mist?
good question. We'll have to listen to episode 350 to find out.
Yeah, that's right.
Axis have Molotovs too. But I like these victory conditions. Provided neither side has amassed any combat victory points, the Commonwealth and the Axis both win when at the end of game turn 6 they have become friends.
Well, I'll be.
So that's really unique. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
Special rule 1 talks about how they become friends.
They play soccer.
Yeah, apparently,
share.
they get different points for each activity they share together.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Basket weaving.
Yeah.
Bamboo harvesting.
did you have 2 more,
It'd be fun.
Mike? Or
Yes, there are more.
Training rice pits.
Anything unique or
This seems to be the largest one. Is Yet the Bite Remains, AP 207. 7.5 turns, 1.5 map. Again, 7A and 3A, not from the kit. Japanese versus the Cameroonians, Scottish Rifles.
Ooh.
With an artillery strike pregame. And they here again, they must conduct a bonsai charge on turn 5.
They must.
They must.
Oh, okay.
yeah, mine said must too.
And the Commonwealth wins at game end by controlling all building locations adjacent to a contiguous road from the north edge to the east.
I've got too many holes in my map inventory.
By now,
I need
yeah.
to buy more of
Yes.
these action pack
Or play
Maps.
on,
or play on Vassal
which wasn't the
Yes.
problem.
Which-
Or play at my house.
or play at your house because you have them all.
Yes.
Okay.
And I have close to them all.
Okay.
Well, I guess that's gonna call it a show, huh, gentlemen?
Yes.
Very
So,
well.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. And
Tuning your dial. We know you have choices when you listen to podcasts because there are more podcasts than there are people on the planet now. So thanks for listening.
that's true. Or for watching on YouTube.
And thanks for patronizing our Patreon page and patronizing our good.
Sponsor
friends
Bounding
at
Fire
Bounding Fire.
Productions. Bounding Fire.
Go to boundingfireproductions.com or boundingfire.com. Yeah, boundingfire.com. Tell
Yep.
them the 2F Squad sent you.
And until then,
Roll low.
and rally well. But not when you're playing us.
That's right.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.